I'm C-Ray with Factor, a platform that connects people, projects, and invoicing for modern architecture and engineering firms. In this video, I want to talk a little bit about how to select project management software for your firm. The cost of implementing the wrong software is not only do you lose the cost in terms of dollars and spent time, you can also lose a lot of credibility with your team, even with your vendors, potentially even with your clients if you're doing invoicing through that software. So making the right decision is important. These are the things that you should be considering. Number one, real-time budget status. Not only should you be able to see the budget for your project and the individual phases of your project, but you should be able to see the spend as it occurs. As time is logged, as expenses are logged, you want to know how much of that budget's been burned and what's remaining at any time. Number two is timelines, and timeline visibility not just for one project, but across projects, so that you can see where your work falls off, when you can start new work, and where concentrations of certain types of work are occurring across projects. Number three, resource scheduling by either person or project. You want to be able to keep these two things in balance. You want to not only be able to schedule hours to a project and see how that impacts your budget spend or planned spend, you want to also be able to see that by person so you can balance out capacity and ensure that you're hitting target utilizations. Number four, integration of phases, milestones, and tasks. Most firms think of their project in terms of the overall budget phases, the either billing milestones or client milestones that occur across those phases, and the tasks or deliverables that need to be accomplished in order to mark a milestone complete. You need to be able to see all three of those and tie them together so you can quickly make adjustments to your schedule if you need to. And again, we recommend being able to see these across your projects in a portfolio view, not just one project at a time. Number five, earned value tracking. We're talking about comparing three things here. Earned value is the actual work completion as it occurs in a progression over a project. But you should also be able to compare that to your planned spend of the project and the actual spend of the budget as time and expenses are logged. By comparing these three things, you can easily see a trend of how the project is going and course correct if you start to see that get out of whack. Number six, sub-consultant billing and tracking. As your subs submit invoices to you, you want to be able to track where you're at in the invoicing of those bills to your client, whether with or without markup, fixed fee, hourly, however you're charging the client, and also know whether you've paid the bills to your subs and where you're at in your invoicing so you know from a pay when paid perspective whether you've got the cash on hand to pay those sub invoices. Number seven, revenue tracking. Project managers are often asked to predict how much revenue they're going to earn on their projects based on either resource scheduling or the planned percentage that they're supposed to be complete in a given month. This can happen very slowly if you're using spreadsheets or lots of different systems where you need to correlate data, or it can be as simple as bringing up a screen that shows you revenue forecasting in a system that has all this information integrated. Number eight, we already talked about sub-consultant billing and payment tracking, but now I want to talk about budgeting. When you break down your budget, you should be able to do that into containers for your team's time and containers for your various sub-consultants, even within the same phase. That way you know what's been spent and what's remaining not only for your team and the time that they're logging, but the sub-consultants from an overall contract perspective and within each phase as they submit their invoices to you. Number nine, profitability. Any good system should be tracking in real time the cost of your employees as they're logging their time and the revenue that's generated, and across your expenses, the cost and what can be invoiced to the client with any markup. That way, as you're earning revenue and then invoicing the clients, you can compare that to the cost on the project and see real time what your profitability is, not just in terms of the overall project, but in terms of services versus planned expenses on the project. Number 10, this one has nothing to do with the product you may or may not buy. This has everything to do with how you work. Before you go out and pick a product off the shelf to implement in your firm, you should document your project management process as it currently stands, from project planning to how you budget, to how you invoice, to how you track time and mark percent complete on your projects. You should have an understanding of how you're currently doing those things now, and then be able to go out and shop for products to find a product that either matches your existing process or you know is going to make streamlined improvements to that process. If you need a little help doing this, visit our website, factorapp.com, factorapp.com, and download our free process mapper, which will give you a place to start in terms of outlining your current process and identifying those areas that you'd like to improve. For more information about Factor, you can go to that same website, factorapp.com, and sign up for a free 30-day trial or request a demo to learn more about our platform for connecting people, projects, and invoicing in modern architecture and engineering firms.